I'm sure you've heard the news. But let me tell you the story behind it. Letha was Jeff's boss at Zaxby's, where he flipped chicken tenders with a smile that could melt butter. Jeff was the kind of guy who could make anyone's day better with just a grin. His co-workers loved him. Customers always left with a full stomach and a lighter heart. But when his shift ended, his true passion roared to life. Motorcycles, the rumble of the engine, the wind in his hair, the endless possibilities of the open road. These were the things that made Jeff feel truly alive. The freedom of the open road called to him like nothing else. It was a siren song he couldn't resist. Every weekend, he would pack a small bag, hop on his bike, and ride wherever the road took him. Sometimes it was a nearby town. Other times, it was a distant city. But no matter where he went, he always felt at home on his motorcycle. One night, as he parked his bike by a roadside diner, he met Letha. She was sitting alone at a corner table, sipping on a cup of coffee and reading a book. Jeff couldn't help but be drawn to her. There was something about her that intrigued him, something that made him want to know more. She was quiet and thoughtful, a stark contrast to Jeff's wild spirit. While Jeff was all about spontaneity and adventure, Letha was more reserved and introspective. She preferred the comfort of a good book to the thrill of the open road. But despite their differences, there was an undeniable connection between them. Their connection was instant, like sparks igniting a flame. They spent hours talking that night, sharing stories and dreams. Jeff told her about his love for motorcycles and the freedom of the open road, while Letha shared her passion for literature and her dream of becoming a writer. By the time the diner closed, they both knew that this was the beginning of something special. Their love story was a whirlwind of passion and adventure. Jeff took Letha on thrilling rides, showing her the world from the back of his bike. They rode through scenic landscapes, explored small towns, and experienced the beauty of nature together. For Letha, it was a whole new world, one that she had never imagined before. Jeff took Letha on thrilling rides, showing her the world from the back of his bike. They would ride for hours, sometimes in silence, sometimes talking about everything and nothing. The open road became their sanctuary, a place where they could be themselves and forget about the rest of the world. But as their love deepened, so did the challenges. Jeff's obsession with his motorcycle grew, and it started to take a toll on their relationship. Letha loved Jeff, but she couldn't help but feel like she was always in second place. She wanted to be his number one, but it seemed like the open road would always come first. Jeff's obsession with his motorcycle grew, leaving Letha feeling like she was always in second place. She tried to be understanding, but it was hard. She missed the days when they would spend hours talking and laughing, when Jeff's attention was solely on her. Now, it seemed like all he cared about was his bike. Desperate, she started writing letters, pouring her heart out. She wrote about her feelings, her fears, and her hopes for their future. She hoped that by putting her thoughts on paper, she could make Jeff understand how much she loved him and how much she needed him. But Jeff's replies became fewer, and then they stopped altogether. Letha felt like she was losing him, and she didn't know what to do. She tried talking to him, but it was like he was in a different world, one that she couldn't reach. One fateful day, Letha received a letter. Not from Jeff, but from a friend. The news was devastating. Jeff had died in a motorcycle accident. Letha's world crumbled. She couldn't believe it. The man she loved, the man who had shown her the beauty of the open road, was gone. Jeff
had died in a motorcycle accident. Letha's world crumbled. She couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep, she couldn't think. All she could do was cry and wonder why this had happened. She felt like a part of her had died with Jeff. She struggled to cope, but in Jeff's journal she found peace. She found entries about their adventures, about the love he had for her, and about his dreams for their future. Reading his words, she felt like he was still with her, guiding her through her grief. She saw his passion for life and understood his love for the road. She realized that Jeff's love for motorcycles wasn't just about the thrill of the ride. It was about the freedom, the sense of adventure, and the feeling of being alive. And she knew that he had loved her with the same intensity. Litha eventually moved on, but she never forgot Jeff. She carried his memory with her, always. She continued to write, pouring her heart into her stories. And in every word, she felt Jeff's presence, his love, and his spirit. His spirit, his love for freedom, lived on in her heart. She knew that he would always be a part of her, no matter where life took her. And she was grateful for the time they had shared, for the love they had experienced, and for the lessons she had learned. And she carried his memory with her, always. Every time she saw a motorcycle, every time she felt the wind in her hair, she thought of Jeff. And she smiled, knowing that he was with her in spirit on every journey she took,